Good day, everyone. So, it is a continuous of our topic about chapter 14, cancer. So, sa 14.1 na discuss ko na about the introduction about cancer. So, napag-usapan natin yung differences of normal cell and cancer cell. And na-discuss ko din yung basic properties. And sa 14.2 is the causes of cancer. So, next is 14.3, which is about a cancer, a genetic disorder. So, matatakan natin dito yung cancer as a genetic disorder. So, it is exploring how DNA changes, whether if it is inherited or namamana or naipapasa galing sa parents or kamag-anak natin if they have a disease that causes in cancer or acquired which cause an uncontrolled cell growth leading to diseases like tumors and their impact on the body. So next, cancer as a genetic disorder. So cancer arises from single abnormal cell that grows uncontrollably or monoclonal. So most cancer are caused by mutations occurring during a person's lifetime. Somatic mutations, not inherited mutations. So, developing cancer requires multiple genetic changes over time. So, ibig sabihin, si cancer can give a disease na tinatawag nating genetic disorder. So, some genetic disorder can be inherit or namamana or naipapasa yung disease ng parents doon sa anak or other generations. But sometimes, genetic disorder, it can be arise spontaneously. So, pwede ka magkaroon ng cancer. It depends on your lifestyle. So, nabanggit na sa discuss ko in 14.2, ano bang may mga cause ng cancer, no? So, another is, kunwari, habang nabubuhay ka o habang tumatagal daw ang isang tao, pwede kang mag-cause ng cancer. Depende sa lifestyle mo and the environmental factors. So, meaning, nangyayari siya during a person's lifetime or at birth. So, habang nabubuhay ka, or yung tao, pwede siya magkaroon ng genetic disorder due to changes of the DNA over time or somatic mutations due to environmental factors. So, we have two types of mutations, the inherited versus acquired mutation. So, inherited mutation, it is a rare genetic changes passed from parents that increase cancer risk. Example is BRCA1 or BRCA2 mutations. So, in acquired mutation naman, it is a common mutation caused by external factors. Yun nga, ibig sabihin, nai-establish din pala ang cancer. It depends on how sa lifestyle ng tao, no? Example dito yung cigarette smoking, UV rays, radiations, or random cell divisions. Nagkakause siya ng during cell division, nagkakause siya ng mga errors, mga chromosomes. So, nababago pala. It depends on lifestyle. Even in example, even in identical twins, only 10 to 15% both develop the same cancer, showing the most cancer result from acquired and not inherited mutation. So, ito yung another example. So, nabasa ko siya in Google site na nag-check ako ng mga article ng mga identical twin. So, they have same sex or pare silang babae. Yan. So, example here is, pare silang may symptoms. Pero yung isa, meron siyang kidney cancer, and yung isa naman, pare silang may symptoms ng cancer, kidney cancer, but yung isa, yung isang kakambal niya is na-inherit niya yung sakit na Wilms tumor. So, it may caused by the inherit or environmental factors. Maybe yung isang kakambal niya is inherited sa parents, and yung isang kakambal naman niya is acquired mutations or doon sa lifestyle. So, yun ang pagkakaiba ng inherit and acquired mutations. Next is tumor genesis or tumor formations. So, cancer develops slowly over time as a single group of cells changes in harmful ways. So, these changes allow the cell to, so the first is apoptosis. Nagbabago daw ang cells due to, number 1 is apoptosis. So, si apoptosis is, yung cell is may kakayahan na to kill themselves when they are not functional properly or if they are damaged. So, in tumor formation pala, ina-avoid niya yung apoptosis or programmed cell death. Kaya, ang nangyayari, kapag hindi nagpa-process ang cell death, so maaaring yung cell na may damage na, so mahawaan niya yung mga healthy cells na ma-damage din. Kaya doon nabubuo or doon nabubuo yung tumor formation and nagkakaroon na ng inflammation and nagkakos na siya ng cancer. Next is, it grows uncontrollably, ignoring the body rules for normal cell growth. So, in tumor formation, yun nga, sa basic properties ng cancer, so, ina-avoid niya din na i-ano yung signals ng ating body. So, kapag ini-ignore niya yung signals ng body ng isang cell, so hindi siya magpa-function and patuloy siya magko-continuous na mag-grow. Next is spread into healthy tissues damaging nearby areas. So, hanggang sa kumalat na siya and yun nga, di ba, kadalasan yung mga cancerous na may mga sakit na cancer, like sinasabi nila na naoperahan na sa breast cancer, then after a month go, nagkakaroon na ng after a month go, nadadiagnose siya ulit ng panibagong sakit, which is nagkaroon na nga ng komplikasyon kasi nga si cancer, it can be spread quickly, because of si cancer cell is nagtutravel siya to our bloodstream or lymphatic system. Kahit na sabihin nating cancer survivor ka na, so may possible pa din or malaki pa yung chance na yung ibang part ng organ mo is magkaroon ng or hindi na mag-function kasi kumakalat nga yung cancer. So, the origin of tumors. So, we have 3 types. So, unang pwede na mag-originate ang tumors by stem cells. So, si stem cells, meron siyang specialized cells which are long-lived with a unique ability to divide and develop. So, example ng stem cells is nerve cells, which is part of the brain, muscle cells, yun. So, yun yung mga cells or stem cells na example na yun yung yun daw yung mga specialized cells na pwedeng mag-divide and mas ma-develop pa. Ayan, so about sa stem cell, next is progenitor cells. So, progenitor cells come from stem cells and can only divide a few times. However, in cancer, they can start dividing uncontrollably. Ayan. And the third is differentiated cells. So, differentiated cells are fully developed cells that don't usually divide. So, yan, hindi sila nagdi-divide. But they can only cause tumors. So, nagkakos sila ng tumors if they somehow regain the ability to divide again. So, ayun yung mga types ng origin or pwedeng mag-originate yung tumor based on 3 types. So, stem cells, pwede siyang mag-originate sa mga stem cells na may mga unique ability na mag-divide, like the muscle cell. Ayan. Karamihan, di ba, ang mayroon tayong tinatawag na example dito is bone cancer. Ayan. So, next is progenitor cells. Ayan. Next is natural selections in tumors. So, means that cancer cell with traits that help them survive and grow. Like using telomerase to maintain telomeres have an advantage. So, these cells can outcompete other cells and continue to divide. So, epigenetic changes like activating telomerase can affect how genes are expressed without changing the DNA itself. So, this helps the tumor grow and spread more effectively. So, nabanggit ko yung sa discussion ko, important point 2, kung ano yung mga causes, no, na pwedeng makaapekto sa pag-form ng tumors due to factor din si telomerase. Si telomerase is an enzyme na tumutulong siya to producing a protein for the cell growth din. So kapag mas activated ang telomerase, so mas humahaba yung long chain nung telomeres natin. So yung DNA patuloy na magko-continuous. So, yun yung epekto. So, yun yung tawag na natural selections in tumors. Next is, ano nga ba yung pagkakaiba ng precancerous and benign tumors? Ayan. So, precancerous cells, so these cells have abnormal features, but they haven't spread or invaded or in other tissues yet. So means the word precancerous, it can be cancer if hindi ito naagapan na gamutin. So hindi pa siya unless na cancer talaga. If hindi na check ng mas maaga. Kaya tinawag siyang precancerous. Ayan. So example niyan is in cervix. So makikita niyo sa illustration So ginamitan siya ng pump smear. So, early detections like through a pump smear. So, isa siyang a test kung saan yung doctor is magko-collect ng cell from the cervix to check if may abnormalities. So, it helps identify them, allowing for treatment that can prevent them from developing into cancer. So, ayan. May mga diseases din pala like in cervix. Ayan, cervix na pwede siyang maging cancerous, So, yun nga, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina is yung cervical cancer or kapag nag-diagnose ka na may infections ka sa female reproductive ng babae, So, example dito, cervical cancer, kung may infections ka, it can lead din na pwede siyang maging cancer. Kasi nabanggit ko sa discussion sa 14.2 na yung mga cause, ano ba yung mga cause ng cancer? So, another is bukod sa bacteria, virus, carcinogenic agents. So, nabanggit din doon yung infection. So, kapag daw lumala ang infections, it can lead daw into cancerous. So, cervical cancer affect the cervix that often link to persistent HPV infections. So, yun yung tinatawag nating precancerous. From a normal disease, pwede siyang lumala and magiging cancer na talaga siya. Next is benign tumors. Benign tumors is non-cancerous, like example is moles o nunal. So, because they can sometimes stop growing on their own and enter a state called senescence. So, where they essentially pause their growth without causing harm. So, hindi sila cancerous. Kahit operahan siya, yan. So, hindi siya cancerous na yung may mga buhay na nunal. So, hindi pala siya. Tinatawag siyang benign tumors. So, while si malignant tumor naman is a cancerous that can grow and invade nearby tissues and spread to other parts of the body or in organ, sa iba't ibang organ. Tinatawag natin siyang metastasis. So, it grows uncontrollably and can cause serious health problems if not treated. So, next is challenges in cancer treatment. So, malaking challenge na i-treat ang cancer because of their characteristic and properties like na-discuss ko kanina is about na ina-avoid nila apoptosis or cell program death, and mabilis din sila mag-spread through bloodstream and affect the other organ and tissues. That's why may mga patients na na-treat na yung cancer but nagkakaroon pa din ng komplikasyon sa other organ nila because of invade ni cancer cell yung ibang organ to have a malfunctions. So, may mga therapies like chemotherapy. So, madami naman therapy but it has a low chance to survive. So, it depends din naman kung ano yung organ ang tinamaan ng cancer and yung kakayahan ng tao and also the stages ng cancer if malala na. So, until now, they evolves what effective treatments to cure cancer. So, until now, naghahanap pa rin sila ng mga treatment na pwedeng maging effective and to cure on how to stop the spreading of cancerous disease. So, next is after natin ma-discuss ang 14.3 about the cancer, a genetic disorder, let's proceed the 14.4 overview of tumor suppressor and oncogenes. So, tumor suppressors genes acts like a cell breaks, which is pinuputol niya yung cell to produce proteins to control the cell growth and prevent cancer. So, in the 1960s, experiments showed that normal cells could suppress or to stop the cancer traits in hybrids, which is si normal cells and cancer cells is pagsasamahin sila sa isang lab test and doon nila itetest ano nga ba yung interaction ng dalawang cell. So, deletions in specific chromosomes region linked to cancer highlight their importance. So, it means that when certain parts of chromosome or specific regions are missing or deleted, so it is often associated with cancer. So, kapag kulang ng chromosome or sobra ng chromosome, so nag-associated daw na pwede siyang maging cancerous. So, this showed that those deleted regions likely contain important genes such as tumor suppressors genes that help prevent cancer. So, without these genes, the risk of cancer increases. So, for cancers to develop, both copies of these genes must be inactivated through mutations or epigenetic changes, removing their protective effect. Without these breaks, ang controlled cell growth leads to tumor formations. So, si tumor suppressor genes pala is nag-a-act siya to cell to break. So, para hindi na mag-continuous yung chain niya. So, ini-stop niya na patuloy na humaba yung chain or yung mga chromosomes. Ayan. Next is oncogenes. So, what is oncogenes? Oncogenes are mutated forms of normal genes called proto-oncogenes that drive uncontrolled cell growth, turning normal cells into cancerous ones. So, they act like accelerators. Means that genes speed up cell growth and divisions. Kaya kapag ang oncogenes are activated, so they cause cell to multiply rapidly and ignoring normal controls that prevent excessive growth which can lead to cancer. So, si oncogenes pala is nag-a-act as accelerator. So, kaya isa din siyang genes na tumutulong for the cell growth. Ngayon, nag-a-act siya to speed up the cell growth. Kapag sinabi diyan na kapag daw mas nag-activated daw yung oncogenes, it can be multiply rapidly or mapapabilis yung pag-growth ng isang cell. So, kailangan mag-accept siya ng signal si oncogenes to stop the divided. So, kapag in-ignore niya yon, so patuloy na magdi-divide. So, it can lead to cancer or magkakaroon ng excessive growth. So, they were first discovered in RNA tumor viruses like the avian sarcoma virus with carrying oncogene, ayan, which is ina-activate niya nga yung rapidly to excessive growth and can turn that normal cells into cancerous ones through mutation. So, nagkakaroon na ng mutations. So, kumakalat na yung mga unhealthy cells and nahahawa na yung mga normal cells. So, hindi na hindi na siya magpo-functions yung mga normal cells because nahawa na sila ng mga damaged cells. So, nagkaroon na ng mutation. So, sabi dyan, oncogenes are linked to or associated with cancer because they can cause, the first is accelerated cell proliferations. So si oncogene, ini-speed up nga niya yung cell growth. So kapag na-uncontrolled yun, magkakaroon ng mutations and multiply rapidly. So the second is genetic instability. So si oncogenes, ginagawa niya, if activated ito, so it increases the DNA damage and errors, making cell more prone to mutation. Number 3 is evasions of apoptosis. Means that oncogenes, it helps the cell avoid a programmed cell death, allowing damaged cells to survive. And last is promotions of metastasis. So si oncogenes pala is nagko-cause ng metastasis, so they enable cancer cells to spread to other parts of organ in our body. So next, as you can see here in illustrations, that normal cells, which on how it transform from cancer cells, no? The first is the infections of cell with retrovirus and integration of proto-oncogene. So then, makikita nyo, it continues until the host cells and the DNA has infect. So nagkakaroon na ng reverse of transcriptase. So nakita na natin naging much more activated an oncogene, which can lead that normal cells are fully become cancer. So since si oncogenes, ang role niya is to act accelerator, so ini-speed up niya na magkaroon ng cell growth, that promoting of loss of growth control and converting that normal cells into malignant ones. So ang target pala ni oncogene is RNA, kung saan ini-influence ni RNA ang gene expression and na-process niya yung protein synthesis in ways that contribute to cancer progression. So habang ang protein ay nagpo-produce due to RNA and to the oncogenes, which is isa nga siyang genes na kinokontrol niya or ini-speed up niya yung cell growth, ang nangyayari kapag nagkaroon ng more activated kay oncogenes, so patuloy na magkakaroon ng cell growth or mutation. Next is proto-oncogenes to oncogenes activations mechanism. So proto-oncogenes, it become an oncogenes through three main changes. So ibig sabihin, si proto-oncogenes, pwede rin pala siyang maging oncogenes in three ways. Ayan. So the first is proto-oncogenes can be oncogenes in a way of mutations, which is a changes in the gene that results in faulty protein, disrupting normal cells growth control. So means that mali yung na-encode na codon on how its sequence happens. So napag-aralan natin na may mga mRNA na pinaprocess yung translations to a protein synthase. So kapag nagkaroon ng mutation, so it continues na mag-process doon sa gene. Di ba may tinatawag tayong mga stop codon? Ayan. So, dapat ma-process yon para mahinto yung pagkakaroon ng long chain or demutation. So, the second is gene duplication or amplifications. So, it occurs when a sections of DNA containing a gene is copied multiple times, so leading to an excessive amount of the gene product or protein, which is example of involves copying large sections of DNA, including sequence with bases like adenine. So, another factor para maging oncogene si proto, so, yung gene duplication. So, nagkakaroon ng duplications or duplicate sa mga bases. Like, makikita natin dito sa dalawang chain, which is nagkaroon ng duplications ng adenine. So, magkakaroon na ng error or tinatawag nating amplifications or magkakaroon na ng error dun sa DNA. So these excess proteins can disrupt the normal regulations of cell growth, causing the cell to grow and divide uncontrollably. So in cancer, this process often results in the overproduction of proteins that promote cell growth, contributing to tumor formation and the spread of cancer. Then the last ways or changes na pwedeng maging si proto ay maging oncogenes due to chromosomal rearrangement. The parts of the chromosomes are rearranged. So, hindi pala nakaayos yung mga chromosome. So, it placing the proto-oncogenes next to the other DNA sequence that turn it on too strongly. So, these changes cause cells to grow uncontrollably, which can lead to cancer. So next, oncogenes and dominance. So oncogenes are dominant genes, meaning that only one copy of the gene from either parents. So it can be mutated that can cause cancer or uncontrolled cell growth. So if one of the two alleles or gene copies is mutated, it can trigger the cancerous behavior in the cell. So researchers often identify oncogene by inserting suspected mutated DNA into cultured cell in the lab. So if the cell begin to grow abnormally, so it show other signs of uncontrolled growth. So it suggests that the inserted DNA contain as oncogene that causes the cell to behave like cancer. So next is the last, cancer development. So cancer typically involves multiple genetic alteration. So the first is loss of tumor suppressors gene functions. Ayan, na-discuss ko kanina. So next is conversions of proto-oncogenes into oncogenes. Nag-act sila as speed up or the accelerator. If maging activated, tinatawag na siyang oncogenes. Then additional is mutations in gene affecting cell adhesion or extracellular proteases are often necessary for metastasis. So that's an end of 14.3 cancer, a genetic disorder. So natakal yung iba't ibang genetic disorder which is can be inherited or it can be established or acquired mutations. So, na-establish siya through lifestyle or namamana. So, na-discuss din yung mga origins of tumor, stem cells, iba't ibang progenitors cells, ayan. The natural selections of tumors, precancerous and benign tumors, and malignant tumors. Then, important point 4, overview of tumor suppressors and oncogenes. So, na-differentiate natin yung ano nga ba yung tumor suppressor gene and oncogenes, which can help to process of normal cell growth. So, if there are more activated or lost functions of the tumor suppressor gene and oncogenes, so it may lead to mutations that can cause cancerous.